And good evening, everybody, and welcome here to IRP Indianapolis Raceway Park as we're getting set for the running of the General Tire 125, the middle race of the round of 10, race number 18 of the debut season of the PCSRA Craftsman Truck Series. After tonight, we're going to see what kind of points there we'll have going into our elimination race next week at Pocono Raceway, where we're going to say goodbye to only two drivers battling for this season's chase for the championship. On the pole is Xavier Allsopp. He is your points leader, by the way, 36 points above the cut line. He is alongside of Aaron Hornish in the 9, who is 35th in the points after a tough race at Chicagoland 2 weeks ago. Alexandria Sarnes in row number 2. She comes into this race 12th in the points table, and alongside is Blake Wagner, one of the playoff contenders. He is a total of 8 points above the cut line in the 7th position. As you look through the rest of the playoff of the grid, and let's tell you what the points look like going into tonight's middle race of the round of 10. Xavier Allsopp is the points leader. He has a 5-point cushion over Jamie Bodine. Allsopp's 36 above. Jamie Bodine is 31 points above the cut line. 30 above is Billy Kitchens. Marcus Sellers is 20 points above the cut line. J Underhill is 5th, 13 points above the cut line. 12 above is Olivia Jackson, who's starting pretty deep in the field. 8 points above the cut line, rather, and 7th is Blake Wagner. Alex Winters is 6 points above the cut line in 8th. Harrison Jenkins is 6 points below the cut line in 9th, and J Ard is 9 points below the cut line in 10th. Those two need a good run here today or find themselves heading into Pocono in a must-win situation, as we're going to see these trucks roll off. Trying to make sure everybody rolls off. Oh, wait a second. Looks like the rest of the field is already rolling off. Had two drivers did not want to start, so we had to wave off the start twice. Make sure nobody is having any issues. A little contact there between Olivia Jackson and Ingrid Pollard. Here we go. Pace truck is off, getting set for today's General Tire 125. 50 laps of racing here today. And just a reminder, if any of our 10 playoff drivers go to victory lane, does not matter what happens next week at Pocono, they're off into the Elite 8. Getting ready to go racing here, and we're racing in the General Tire 125. Kind of weird we're having 2 night races and a day race next week. Of course, we're in October, which means we've already started Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Today being October 3rd, 2025. Allsopp still leads. Alexandria Sarnes in second. Michael Brown was your winner last time out, but his win was too little too late as far as the playoffs is concerned. As Alexandria Sarnes trying to get around the 66 and will do so. I don't know why the standings are crediting drivers that have an Astro. Alexander Sarnes looking for, as a look at the points here. Alexander Sarnes trying to find her first win on the year. We saw Michael Brown pull off an upset in the playoff grid and go to victory lane. We'll see if this will give her some confidence that she needs for next season. And the 24th, Anthony Ritchie just came off pit road. Not sure what's up with the 24. Unscheduled pit stop has now put Anthony Ritchie a lap down. This is a .686 mile short track. So Anthony Ritchie already in trouble. Of course, Anthony Ritchie not in the playoff conversation. He is 34th in the points. Been a tough season for the Maryland driver. One of two in the series. Or no, check that. One of three in the series. We have Alina Ritchie, who is also from Maryland. We have Blake Wagner. His sister Summer is going to be in the Truck Series next season. And then the gal we will talk about tomorrow in the Busch Series playoffs, Annika Ritchie. Alexander Sarnes has been racing in the Diva stuff, which will be coming back for a second season. When that will be is TBD. "15 laps complete, 35 laps to go." Sorry, I was watching a video on my phone. Alexander Sarnes, who is one of many drivers from the country of Brazil. We're going to have some drivers from Brazil in this series next season. Should be interesting to see how that will play out. Of course, we got the Oreo Cup Series to look forward to. Next year is going to be a busy year. We're going to have DRL and Oreo Cup Series and all that yada, yada, yada. Can't wait to call those Oreo Cup Series races again, which will be on the next-gen cars. As I saw some smoke in turn on the back straightaway, and it's Shohei Alinsky. A lot of damage to the back of the Federated Auto Parts machine. Surprisingly, no caution has been thrown. Shohei Alinsky, one of the non-playoff drivers, had troubles. He's 22nd in points. He has also fallen one lap down. Anthony Ritchie's now 2 laps down. And I'm thinking probably if there's no yellow in the next couple of laps, we'll jump back, look at a replay to find out what happened to the 52 of Shohei Alinsky if we don't get a caution. All right. While Alexander Sarnes is leading, let's jump back, look at a replay to what happened to Shohei Alinsky, and then we'll come back to live action as we're nearing the midway point of the General Tire 125. Well, we were just talking about Alina Ritchie, and looks like she's the one who turned the 52. And it looks like the 52 was trying to stay up to the 59 of Chaz Farmer, and then didn't realize the Mopar Dodge was there, and pretty good significant contact to the inside retaining wall, but because it was not on the racing surface, PCSRA officials did not throw a caution, which is a tough break for Shohei Alinsky, and as a result, he is now 1 lap down as processed. So that is what didn't bring out the caution. Let's go back to live action here at IRP. Welcome back to IRP. As we're about to be at the midway point of today's race, lap 25 of 50. Nobody is out of the race. Sarnes is, by the way, could make it 2 for 2 as far as the non-playoff drivers who've been good. Let's see where our 10 remainers are running. Z Allsopp is 5th. Alex Winters 4th. Alex Winters was that driver in that critical 8th position in the points. Excuse me. Harrison Jenkins in 6th. Blake Wagner is 7th. Wagner 8 points above the cut line. Xavier Allsopp, if he has a good result here today, I believe he will be in the next round, regardless what happens next week at Pocono. Good run for Michael Brown, 1 week from his first one of the year, which came a week too late, but that's okay with him. Looking to find our rest of our 6 playoff contenders, because that was what? 1, 2, 3, 4 inside the top 10. Where are the other 6? J Ard in 21st. That's not where she needs to be. Sellers is 26th. Billy Kitchens 24th. J Underhill 25th. Olivia Jackson 28th. 28th. That was correct. And Jamie Bodine, 2nd in points, 31st. And he is the lowest of the 10 playoff drivers. So looking at my calculations in my head, J Ard, if she doesn't improve, she's going to be in a difficult situation heading into next week's race. And the caution is out for the first time here tonight. We've ran 30 clean green flag runs. Trouble in turn number 4 is what brought out our first caution of the evening. The question is, were any of those 10 I just documented involved? Maisie Creighton, Emma Kaiser came to pit road for some reason. Abigail Furling is the reason for the caution. Emma Kaiser, has some front end damage on her truck. Maisie Creighton came to pit road. Not sure what happened. So caution's out for the first time tonight. Let's investigate first of all what happened to the 3 truck and the 26, and then we'll take a look at our first yellow of the evening. Looks like we found our answer. Abigail Furling got turned by playoff contender Billy Kitchens, who I was just mentioning about him a second ago when we were going over the playoff standings, and spins the 62 and sends the Orleans Dodge into the wall. And unlike the 52, that was right in front of traffic. Olivia Jackson missed it. Emma Kaiser does not avoid, and there's where the 26 got involved. So that would explain why those two trucks came to pit road. And that brought out the yellow for the first time here tonight. Abigail Furling has rear end damage. Of course, three non-playoff contenders, Maisie Creighton, Emma Kaiser, and Abigail Furling, the three ladies. Excuse me. Tough break for Emma Kaiser, who is going to be back in that 3 truck next season. She came into this race 16th in points, Maisie Creighton 24th in points, and Abigail Furling 30th in points. The wheels have fallen off on those 3 drivers so far. The yellow's out for the first time today. Let's jump back to the restart here at IRP. About to go back to green on lap number 36 of 50, which will mark 15 laps of racing to go. Top 10 as we go back to green. Sarnes is the leader. Alinsky is a lap down. Berkshire in second. Anthony Ritchie is off the lead lap. Shyla Askarov in third. Alex Winters fourth. Fifth, Xavier Allsopp, Harrison Jenkins sixth. Blake Wagner seventh. Eighth at Victoria Hughes. Morgan Lohr ninth. And Ashton Ingersoll completes the top 10. Shyla Askarov will be moving over to the Busch Series next season and also run a part-time Winston Cup schedule for the Petty Enterprises, that 44 Buggles Dodge. So we wish her good luck. Going to try to end her season here on a not-so-good note. Green flag back in the air. 2 trucks out of the race from that incident, as that was Kaiser and Creighton. Creighton's also going to be back in the truck series for one more year before she goes Busch racing next season. She'll run a part-time Busch schedule as well. And neither of those 2 drivers were playoff contenders. Askarov, or Shohei Alinsky is back on the lead lap. Anthony Ritchie is 1 lap down, which we still don't know why he came to pit road. I mean, these drivers can make it 50 laps on the fuel run. Wonder if there was something that happened on the 24, whether he had a mechanical problem or a tire going down. Whatever the case, that is a tough break for the 24. Wonder if we're going to see a sign of things that come in tomorrow night's Busch Series race. That will be at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Because remember, across the street we will have we won't be on the air for the Winston Cup qualifying that will take place for the elimination race next season. There's going to be some rule changes we're going to have for next season. We're going to have, first of all, we're going to have the go or go home qualifying session for next season for Trucks, Busch, and Winston Cup Series. Those will be on the same days, I should point out, as we're at 10 to go. Then we'll run the main event as always. Alexandria Sarnes, who's led the most laps since taking the lead. Cheyenne Berkshire trying to get her first win on the season. Alex Winters trying to get her second win of the year, but most importantly, a spot into the Elite 8. She is 6 points above the cut line. Sarnes is second in points of the drivers who didn't make the playoffs. Cheyenne Berkshire is 15th in the points. Also another driver who did not make the playoffs, as Berkshire is going to go for the race lead. as Alex Winters will clear Alexandria Sarnes for second. That's still a good result for Sarnes, who's still looking for her first win of the year. Cheyenne Berkshire, the leader. We talked about Cheyenne Berkshire, a wonderful prospect, and also Zachary Taylor's new prospect, Harrison Jenkins. They're both part of Indiana Motorsports, which, interestingly enough, this is Indiana Motorsports' home race here at IRP, as well as the Brickyard. They are west from the Speedway. They live out in the western part, an hour away from this racetrack. Cheyenne Berkshire didn't make the playoffs. Harrison Jenkins did. Harrison Jenkins, we believe, is going to go bush racing next season. And we'll see the team owner, Zachary Taylor, in 2 days' time when we head across the street or across town into in Speedway, Indiana. Of course, this is in Claremont, Indiana, which is right across town from the Brickyard 400. Of course, that is where we're going to have our first elimination race for the Winston Cup Series, but tomorrow night we'll cap it off the IRP part of the Indy weekend with the Busch race at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then Sunday, which is a special tribute for my stepmom's, what would have been her birthday, we're dedicating the Brickyard 400 race in her honor. And that is an elimination race for the Winston Cup Series drivers, because when the checker flag waves, 4 drivers will be eliminated from competing for the championship. 2 laps to go for the 15 machine. We'll see the 54 next season as we get ready to prepare for season 2 for all 3 series. Off at turn number 4, white flag in the air for Cheyenne Berkshire. Indiana Motorsports looking for their second win on the season here in the Truck Series. Of course, Harrison Jenkins got a win to get himself into the playoffs, but we'll have to see where he's running at the end of the race. And off of turn 4, Cheyenne Berkshire is going to take the General Tire 125 here tonight at IRP. I know she's disappointed. That win was not in the playoffs, because if it was and she was in the top 20 in the points, she would have been in the round of 8. But a win is a win, and this is going to be good confidence for her going into season 2 of trucks. And I bet you her team owner, Zachary Taylor, has got to be delighted to see her finally get a win. It's taken her 18 races to finally get her first win ever. Alex Winters will get second. She finishes as the highest of the playoff drivers. 6 points above the cut line. We're going to see where this is going to situate her. Probably in a good spot to advance. Alexandria Sarnes led the most laps, have to settle for third. But still a good run for a driver who comes into this race 12th in the points, going to continue her consistency. Still looking for her first win of the year. Shyla Ascroft in 4th. Blake Wagner finished in 5th. He came in this race a total of 8 points above the cut line. He could be sitting himself in a very good spot heading into next week. Harrison Jenkins, 6th. He was 6 points below the cut line. He did not beat Harrison Jenkins. However, he did beat a number of other drivers who didn't have good results here today. Xavier Allsopp, I think we can safely say Xavier Allsopp might be moving on to the next round with a 7th place result. He had a good run at Chicagoland 2 weeks ago. Another good run here today. I think Xavier Allsopp, if he doesn't have any problems between now and next week, and I'll have to confirm if he is moving on to the next round, which we'll see. Carlos Rodriguez in 8th, Donovan Carter 9th, and 10th is Ashton Ingersoll. Let's see. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 playoff drivers inside the top 10. Winters, Wagner, Jenkins, Allsopp. Where did the other 6 finish? And also an honorable mention, Michael Brown, 1 week from his first win of the year, 14th. Still a good job for him. Let's see, where did the other 6 finish? Marcus Sellers, 21st, was 20 points above the cut line. Trying to see if he was another. Let me see. Yeah, Billy Kitchens came in this race third in the points. He was 30 points above, so that's not good for him. Let's see. Going further down, Olivia Jackson 25th, J Ard Underhill 26th. 12 points above the cut line for Olivia Jackson and 13 above for J Ard Underhill. They're going to be interesting spots heading into next week's race. Jessie Art 29th, and she was 10th of the 10th playoff drivers. Is Jessie Art probably heading into next week's race at Pocono in a must-win situation? She didn't have a good result. She finished dead last at Chicagoland. She didn't do any better here today. I have a feeling she might be going into Pocono in a must-win situation. J Bodine second in points, 31 above. He'll be in a precarious position going into our elimination race next week. And of course, he finished as the lowest of the playoff drivers. Joey Alinsky was the last driver to finish on the lead lap. Anthony Ritchie, the only driver who finished one lap down. And two drivers never saw the checker flag. Emma Kaiser, Maisie Creighton, due to our only caution of the evening and the second of our two incidents we've had here in this evening's race. So interesting to see where this is going to situate a couple of people. We know Xavier Allsopp will be moving on to the Elite Eight. Who will be the other 7 possibly, and we'll have to see if this is a confirmation or not. Who will be the 7 drivers that possibly will join, and who will be the 2 that get eliminated next week at Pocono? We will find that out. Tomorrow night, we cap off this race weekend with the IRP portion of the Indy weekend as we get set for the Busch race for their T-Sport 200. And then the following day on Sunday, we'll have our first elimination race for the Winston Cup Series where 4 drivers are going to get eliminated from the championship at the Brickyard 400. If you enjoyed tonight's race, my friends, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the PCSRA crew today. We share your full finish results. Your points and playoff points are down in the description heading into our elimination race next week at Pocono. We'll see you tomorrow night for the Busch race here at IRP. I'm D. DeVille saying good night from Claremont, Indiana, as you've been watching yet another broadcast of PCSRA TV, where champions are made since 2010 and 15 years as the best center racing around the world since 2017. Good night from IRP.